to the very first day of my 30-day challenge where I aim to build and design a Christmas/winter island in just 30 days. Besides the time limit, we also have some other rules to make the challenge fun and have something more concrete to work with. During these 30 days, I cannot use Nintendo Online. This means no trading, no custom designs created by others, and no treasure islands. I am also not allowed to use the DLC Happy Home Paradise in any way. The 30 days are only real-life days, so time traveling in the game is allowed. I also allowed myself to start a little earlier so I can take days in between off to focus on editing. But I will still only play for a total of 30 days. Before I forget, this challenge is of course inspired by Froggy Crossing. Since I saw her first challenge, I always wanted to try it. And I love decorating for Christmas, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to give it a go. Besides the general rules that I mentioned before, I also set some goals for my finished island. I want to have 10 Christmas or winter-inspired villagers. This is a pretty vague term. I'm not super strict with it. In general, I am looking for villagers with the colors red, green and blue. But I also want them to feel like a Christmas villager to me, which is of course very subjective and could quite possibly not always seem that obvious to everyone when we look at why I chose a certain villager and declined another. But I will do my best to explain my motives every time. For example, I think deer villagers would go great, even if their colors don't match necessarily. Someone like Stitches would fit as well in my opinion, because he looks like a stuffed toy, so he could resemble a Christmas present. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to decide spontaneously when hunting. Overall, I do want a Christmas vibe for my villagers. Next goal would be yard builds. I want to give every villager their own decorated yard or area around their house, which should of course be Christmas or winter inspired. Last but not least, I want to have a total of at least 7 island builds to decorate my island and make it more interesting. So, for example, a Christmas market could be one build, an ice skating rink would be another one. I haven't planned the builds yet, but I will show you if I use something from Pinterest or Island Tours as an example or inspiration. I am also a little nervous to create my own custom designs. I usually rely on other creators and their skills. So whenever I use an existing design for inspiration, I will show you where I got the idea from. These are the goals. Not anything too crazy, but I really want to enjoy this challenge, get super creative and have a ton of fun. So I think this is already challenging enough for me. The most challenging part will probably be the video editing, because I will have to force myself to be productive and not waste hours on a 5-second effect that probably isn't even as awesome as I imagine it to be. But yeah, back to the challenge. So we have the rules and the goals set. Let's start. This is actually only the second time that I start an island. I still have my original island. I couldn't imagine to reset it. It definitely feels like a second home to me. So I got an older Switch to experience this challenge and I am super excited about it. Ah, Timmy and Tommy. The dialogue is so nice. It just feels so comforting, and after you get used to the daily dialogue in the game, it's really nice to see the starter dialogue again. So then I created my character. The starter hair is kind of underwhelming. I toyed with the idea to try something completely different, at least different eyes or a different nose, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I chose the longest hair and my usual face. So talking about the island layout that I would like. Honestly, I'm not that picky. I would like something different from my other island, just to switch it up. So thinking about this island where the river mouths are at the front, it looks okay, but I don't like that the resident services is that close. So let's try the one on the right. I like the amount of space, the river is okay, and resident services is a good distance away. And the pier is on the left instead of on the right as on my other island. So let's try it, but I'm okay with resetting if I don't like it. So we have peaches, okay. I would like to have apples actually. Oranges would work the best for a winter island, but I have oranges on my other island, so I would really like to use apples. But at the same time, I don't want apples as my main fruit, since the main fruit sells for only 100 bells, while the other fruits sell for 500 bells each. So if I get apples from my mom or on a mystery island, I could use it and sell it for more bells. That's my logic at least. Problem is that I won't know what my mom sends me until a day in, and I won't know the mystery island fruit until I start villager hunting. So I just have to risk it. Well, I might not end up using fruit trees at all since it will be winter, so it doesn't matter all that much in the end. Okay. I can't believe it. Poncho. My starter jog from my other island. I'm kind of happy to see him again. He is a good jog and he is blue, so he could potentially stay. He does also give me a winter vibe. Cherry, on the other hand, is definitely a spooky sisterly. She won't stay, but that's okay. I'm super happy about Poncho, and that is definitely a win. After talking to the fearless leader, I put down everyone's tents on the beach to have space to think about the layout. I collected branches and peaches for a fire and a smoothie, and the moment came where we had to debate on the name. You know that moment comes, but I still took some time to think it over, because I wasn't sure. I wanted something that fits the theme. Some ideas I had were Jingle, Frosty, Candy Cane, Snowflake, but I just didn't feel it with any of these names. Then I got the idea to just name it after the home of Santa Claus, so that's what I ended up with. North Pole. I think it's a cute name. When you hear it, you know it's a winter island. I might even add a toy factory. That would actually be a good build idea. Gotta write that down. So I won the island name vote. I admired Timmy and Tommy's cute little scarves. So cute, I want one. And I decided to start on the cleanup already and pick some weeds. This is also the moment when I remembered to look at the flowers that I got. And I could just barely take a peek and I saw pansies. I'm super excited about pansies. I think they would go really well on a Christmas island. I can imagine using the red pansies a ton, so that is definitely a win. After I picked all of the weeds I could pick, I went in my tent to have a nap and had a dream about a naked dog that rudely got awakened by Tom Nook, who gave me my phone and my very first bill. Then I decided to travel to December so I could play in the snow and to get into the Christmas mood. I discovered DIYs and Timmy's shop, and I spent the rest of the day earning bells and miles and materials so I could be more prepared for what's to come. This pretty much summarizes the first day of North Pole. If you would like to follow my journey, feel free to subscribe and come back tomorrow for the second day. I'm grateful for any advice or ideas that you might have, so write me a comment. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I also appreciate any ideas for a good winter island. Thank you so much for watching and see you tomorrow.